I came searching for enlightenment, trying to figure out how to place myself in the scheme of things, and my search led me to Ringing Rocks Park in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. It could be that it's a bed of unanswered questions. Where do the rocks come from? Why do they sing? And so the place is as inviting as any, public yet secluded, to search for something. I brought along the camera which my mother had placed in my hands as if accidentally. It was a gift, and I was an amateur, but what better way to explore a place than to capture it? With a camera, you are permitted to relive history and yet still recreate it, still romanticize, still delude yourself, still rewrite. But you lie with proof to give it strength. I quickly learned that this was not the terrain of tripods. Visitors had little choice but to haphazardly climb over boulders. There was no solid ground, hardly room for 2 legs, much less 3. I do my best to hold the camera still and wonder if humans don't always try to hold things in such a manner, hold things in their place neat and tidy even when they're not supposed to be. The place breathes a life of its own, and though there are other people, I know the park could be without me, without them, and yet people seem to have a hard time accepting that. They must declare, in a world which goes on without them, that they shall be seen there too. It must go beyond ill taste or childish humor. It must go beyond that. But the world can destroy itself on its own. Does it need our help? How can it be simultaneously dead, barren, and beautiful? I cannot guess. There is beauty in the small things here, and the universe displays itself on a platter for me to observe. There is music, always, if we will listen to it. I make my way from the sea of rocks to the waterfall a little ways off the trail. Who has never had the joy of seeing icicles mock Swarovski, or watched a waterfall put their best artwork to shame? What an artist we're allowed to observe. It's astounding. And I could see this anywhere, right? Or only in this heightened awareness. And as I steady my camera against me, I see the trees, the rocks, the falls, they make their own story. They don't need me. And so I listen to the voices of those around me, mocking, "Why are you filming that ugly graffitied stone?" Well, it's the ugly graffitied stone which calls for attention. It's it which must cry out in order to be seen. I could film only the most beautiful, but how dare I free myself of that responsibility? With nature encased in plastic, I make my way back up the trail. Have I been enlightened or merely given direction? Do my wandering thoughts qualify as neither? I'm still not certain of the answer, but as I depart from Ringing Rocks, I know the trail does not end with the ice that would shoot me forward or the mud which would hold me stuck, but with solid ground, which gives me agency in finding the next step of my future.